Hi folks, JP here from the podcast. Just to let you all know that the podcast is sponsored by AB Entertainment, and the AB stands for Mr. Alec Beveridge. It's a DJ and entertainment business. Alex is on Facebook and Instagram, and you can hit him up through the WhatsApp for any bookings on 07845 746 092. And also folks, the podcast has taken on a new partner, and we're partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. If you want any jerseys, or if you've got any memorabilia sitting around you want framed or anything looked after that way, contact John Mullaney, and you can get him at johnmullaney0971@gmail.com, or contact him on his mobile 07835 072 582. And here at the Unrestricted View, we hope you're all enjoying the content, and if you are, please like and subscribe. It's free to do so, and also share amongst your Celtic family as well. Hail, hail from all of us. Good evening and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. Dial in, talk to Tims. It's Monday night. I'm joined by my good man, Mr. Ryan Clifford, and my other good man, Mr. Alan Stirling. Well, Alan, good evening, big man. I hope you're well. Hope you've had a lovely weekend. And there's plenty more action now as we gear toward our trip to the USA. Looks as if there's a wee bit of momentum now in the transfers, mate. And that's why we're here tonight. So what's your thoughts, big man? As I said, I hope you're well and had a good weekend.
I hope the 2 years are well, and everybody that's tuning in as well. Great weekend. It's no coming home. That's the most important thing. It's no coming home. It's lost the post somewhere.
That one in there, didn't he? Had to chuck that one in.
It's no coming home. So the news we've been hearing over the last few days, that is positive. Because we've seen kind of awoken the whole club. But the kind of seemingly the transfers that's coming in, the rumours as well. So it's good news all round. Really happy to get some news, and looks as if the kind of ball's rolling now, and we can start looking forward to improving the squad.
Yeah. Obviously we'll come to that and we'll go through that one, Alan. Ryan, I hope you're well, pal. I hope you had a nice weekend, and looking forward to another wee phone-in chat tonight.
I'm good. Hope you're well as well, mate. And yourself, Aaron, and everybody who's tuning in tonight with us. Quiet weekend, mate, to be honest with you. Not really much on my end this weekend.
Not like you,
mate. Just a chill one for me, mate. So, but obviously it's been good to see some solid sources now and solid kind of information about signings, and obviously the news broke the other day with Casper. Now the goalkeeper for Aston Villa as well. So there's other names obviously popping up and stuff, but it's just good to get a bit of solid information, because we've not really had a lot of clarity, a lot of real impetus in terms of names or solid kind of links and sources and stuff. So obviously it was good to get that up and coming to talk about. It helps us as well in here to talk about different things, and because sometimes you feel you're just talking about the same thing all the time, and so it's good to get a bit of different chat, mate, and like you say, it's good to get the phone on back on tonight, and we'll see how we go tonight, mate.
Yeah, and obviously we've got a few callers coming in tonight. Hopefully we've got some throwaway points that we can get our teeth right into, and it's not like Ryan says, Alan, the same kind of repetitiveness that we've been doing over the last couple of weeks. So I think mostly that's down to not really much happening and a wee bit of guesswork for the supporters, mate.
Aye, I'm glad that we've got Peter Lawler on the phone in the night, so we'll ask him a few questions about what the F's get on here, what's been going on, I know, Pistol Pete. So they seem to have woken and they've got to figure out a bit, but it's been a bit hesitant, shall we say, for the last number of weeks. So it's starting to look in the right direction anyway.
The rumours were that it was because Ryan, obviously Liam Scales had that abductor problem last season, and Ryan had him in a cupboard. Until he opened that cupboard, they weren't letting the transfers out the bag, mate, apparently.
I know. So I don't know if Peter's pal, Michael Nicholson, if he'll be in the background or not. We might get to speak to him, so we can ask all the questions we like.
They'll be sitting with doves and money going, hey!
It won't be like they guys to kind of be evasive with the fans, would it? It wouldn't be like them.
Never.
So never. I know. So we can expect kind of straight true answers for all the board. No questions asked. That's it.
Well, that's it, Ryan. How do we follow that, mate?
No, but it is obviously, like you said there, mate, Alan, it is good to get a bit of different kind of storylines or different things to speak about, because I think the fan base, the majority of the fan base, we've tried our best not to get frustrated, because we just want things a bit done a bit quicker, and I can understand certain frustrations. Some opinions are a wee bit too negative all the time. Like, it's every day, it's constant. And for me, like, I get it, but just try and win it if you can. But hopefully now we can start getting some signings in the door from America. Then the team will start bumping up obviously their schedule for the season in America. So hopefully this is us on the pathway of getting some transfers in, and hopefully adding some more quality to the team. Yeah,
and obviously just as we're chatting, all the comments are kind of flooding in. Willie Collin back on tonight with us again. It's amazing. He's been quite busy this summer since he retired for refereeing.
Does he play left back?
No, he's apparently just got his bus pass through the other day, so he's melting. He's really merry. He's been getting about now and meeting up with his mates down at Central Station for wee jollies and the wee trips here and there.
Bus pass?
Ryan was on one with him on Sunday.
Aye.
But no, lads, listen, obviously, as you can see the banner there, Casper Schmeichel, right away as soon as I saw that name, I was actually transmitting Friday. I was away seeing Liam Gallagher and that, and when the headlines broke that we were signing Casper Schmeichel, I was doing cartwheels on the way up the road, through the Gallagher, up through by Morrison's and up into Duke Street. It was amazing, man. Surprised nobody's got a video of me doing it, man. I've done that many. My legs are absolutely ready to fall off now. But what a signing that is, and the shrewdness of that signing to do it in a way that you're doing it as a free transfer. I don't know where to, and I don't know where you start with that, mate, but that's just an unbelievable bit of timing to have a guy that calibre and that quality, the Danish captain and international, played at the Euros, and a wealth of experience, mate, playing at a very good level.
Aye, it's a good signing. He's obviously played at a high level. He's got a lot of experience. He can bring that to the dressing room as well. He could be one of the kind of guys that supports the captain and kind of directing the squad and the team. But before the kind of news came out today about the other goalkeeper, that's what we're looking for as well. Bit of forward planning for the club, basically. Because we don't want to be in this place kind of the same time next year, or whether that be the year after next, 2 years down the line, we're looking for a number one again. There should be a bit of forward planning involved, that when Casper retires or when he leaves or whatever that may be, we've got somebody else that's willing to kind of step forward. That's where I like the fact to a project, to a younger goalkeeper, somebody that can learn that for Casper and kind of take that step up whenever Casper kind of makes it time to retire or such. So I especially like that news today about the younger goalkeeper, because that's what we've been asking for constantly, is for a bit of succession planning, a bit so that we're prepared season on season in most kind of positions. So I'm very happy with the combination of an older goalkeeper with the right kind of knowledge and experience, and he's been there and done it. And for a younger goalie, learn that for somebody of that calibre.
Yeah, 100%. And just on that note, I think we will take in our first caller. And it is indeed the man himself who was our first caller on the very first show we done last week, Mr. Francis Lester. Good evening, Francis. How are you this fine Monday evening, pal?
Good evening, lads. JP, Ryan, Alan. I'm great, thanks.
Evening, mate.
Even better hearing the news tonight about the possible signings.
Amazing, mate. Have you done a nice weekend, Francis?
Pretty quiet this weekend because I was busy all week last week and I've been really busy today, so I had a quiet one over the weekend. Cut my grass and tended to my plants.
Brilliant. Hope it's just ordinary plants and no any funny plants, Francis.
Tomato plant. Winston's tomato plant.
I'm bad enough in Iron Brew, never mind anything else.
You're going well on this podcast then, mate, I'll tell you. What's your points, mate? What is it you want to kind of bring up?
I'm delighted, JP, with the news that Schmeichel was coming. I thought that's an incredible bit of business, especially the fact that we're getting him for wages. We're not having to pay a fee for him. I mean, that's great business. I mean, a lot of people have been kind of slagging the Celtic board, well, we're not doing this. But to pull that one out of the hat is tremendous. And to back it up as well, going for the young boy, Salo, is it his name is? As well. If that comes off, even better, you know. I'm just hoping now that we clinch, you know, the young boys signing, and then we go and look at maybe a couple of centre backs as well, you know, just to help back up the defence. And the Belgian winger boy we're talking about coming in, Balak, I just hope one of my grandmates doesn't want his name in the back of the jersey.
you may maybe get me hot after Christmas, Francis.
Oh Christ, I know I need to save up. But, no, it's a lot. I feel a lot better this week, you know, than seeing there's a bit of movement there, and obviously, hopefully, it all comes to fruition, and we do add some more quality to, you know, take us into the beginning of the season.
100%, mate. Yeah, Ryan, I'll come to you with that point, mate. What you're thinking there in terms of what Francis was saying?
No, he's bang on, JP. It's a bit. It's good to get a bit of movement. It's good to get, because we spoke about other day actually, and we've had it on our personal chats and stuff, that I was really adamant that if Casper came in, brilliant, get him on the door, but we need somebody else in, because I'm not going to be disrespectful, but Scott Bain and Benji Seegers cannot be back up to number one. It's just, they're done in terms of being able to step up to, if it's a European level or it's even to step up to the league level, because they've been here and done it now and they've not really shown any colours to prove good enough. So Casper at the age he is, he's coming up for 38. I'd like to think that the young boy, if he comes in, he will get maybe the League Cup games. He might get away to Ross County to take the burden off of Michael, because he is 37, 38 now. I'd like to think you've got to manage him. So no, I know he'll be fit as hell. He'll still be very, very good. But this is where you need to manage a boy. And like he says as well, if it's to give the guy a bit of experience and develop him, then play him in the odd game. Play him in the odd game at home at Celtic Park. Play him in the League Cup games, etc. Because I think if you continue to play Michael every game, listen, he probably love that and he probably still wants to do that. You've got to give him a bit of a leeway as well with his age, and don't overburn him, because we've got a lot of games next year. We've got at least 8 in Europe. Hopefully more if we do well. You've got the Cup games, Scottish Cup games, and 38 league games, including 4 derby games. So you've got a big season. So I do think the young boy will come in here and there. But old Casper Schmeichel, free transfer or not, it's a fantastic signing. Great character, great experience, great know-how. He's played in Europe. won the Premier League, so you're basically replacing Joe Hart with him. You're getting the same kind of mould of goalkeeper, so it's a win-win for me, mate.
Yeah, 100%. Alan, yourself, mate, what's your thoughts on overall what Francis was saying?
Aye, definitely. It's a great signing to pull off. Somebody with that bit of experience. Obviously, we've spoken in depth about how much experience and kind of know-how we need within the first 11 and the squad. Obviously, we're losing Joe Hart to retirement. That takes one of the older heads, shall we say, away. So we definitely need to replace that with a bit of experience as well. And there's no many more experience than a guy like Kasper Schmeichel at his age. I think Ryan's spot on as well, that you maybe need to kind of just bring, if it is this young guy that's coming in with him, just bring him in a number of the games that maybe we could get away with kind of playing a less experienced goalkeeper, whether that be the League Cup games, etc. So it's very good news that we're forward planning, but especially with only 2 weeks and 5 days, 6 days to we start the season. We're looking at the ball's starting to roll now, so we're starting to get players in, which I think we can all agree that's kind of badly needed in a few kind of specific positions. So here's hoping that it could be bang, 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 and like we can batter out a few kind of signings within the next few days and upcoming weeks, because I think they'll definitely be needed, and they'll enhance our squad and strengthen our first 11, definitely.
Yeah, Francis, also, obviously, just on your points, mate, do you not think it's a great bit of forward thinking from the manager there? Because his due diligence has clearly been done, which is why we're seeing not just one goalkeeper. Because years gone by, you could have probably saw Kasper Schmeichel coming in on his own without someone else. And like Ryan says, we could have been left with a Scott Bain or a Benjamin Siegrist to pick up the slack from that. But the fact that two goalkeepers are coming in kind of bang, bang together, it kind of makes you think now that the way they're doing it and the due diligence, the way they're doing that, is slightly changing under the manager.
I agree totally. I think this is definitely all down to Brendan. He's definitely, I mean, we all know he's already got a relationship with Schmeichel, and he's had that over a few years. Obviously, he played for him at Leicester as well. So he knows what kind of keeper he is, and that'll be even better, I think, for the development of the young guy, because Brendan will be able to go to Schmeichel knowing that he's not going to, you know, say, oh no, he's Min's keeping you in goals, you know what I mean? You know,
yeah,
the trust there to help bring him on, because he'll be wanting to obviously do well when he's here, but he'll obviously will want to make sure that the young boy gets up to a level where we can be confident in him coming in if something was to happen to Kasper through injury or whatever, because you never know what's round the corner. So I think definitely down to Brendan. And I also think some of the other, I think any signings we bring in this year is going to be actually down to Brendan. I think he kind of got a wee bit pissed off last year with signings being made without his real say. So I don't know that for a fact, but I believe so. And I think he'll be the guy that's pointing these guys out. And hopefully that's the case, because you want the manager to live or die by his choices and how they perform for the team in the end, you know.
Yeah, 100%, lads. Is there anything else you want to add to Francis before he kind of jumps off? Or?
No, I think what he's saying there, JP's bang on, and I do believe, and again, people might shoot me down. I don't know what you think about this, Francis, but for me, I might be wrong, maybe because of how slow it's been, but I just don't. I think Brendan's, maybe I'm reading between the lines too much, I don't know, but I just don't think he's been his main target. I think he's maybe no got the goalkeeper he wants for the recruitment team, or the board haven't put enough money to put towards the goalie he wants. And he's thought, right, I know somebody reliable that can get us in the door the next year or two. He's very, very good. He's experienced. I don't need to sit and really talk to him too much. He knows me. I know him. He knows what's expected here. Get him in the door. He'll do at least a season or two until I potentially look at somebody else. Because I feel that he is taking a bit more control here, Francis. And I do feel that I think this boy's been linked before with Celtic, the young boy, a year or two ago. I seen that on Twitter. So he might have already been in the back burner with Celtic. But I do believe that Kasper's a Brendan signing. I don't believe that. I really, really believe that if the recruitment team or kind of the board were maybe part of that scouting or whatever it was, I don't feel Casper would have been the guy. I believe it's Brendan Rodgers that's took control of this. Went, no, I know him. He's reliable. He's experienced, and I'll get him on the door.
Definitely, I think you're right, but I don't think he would need to sell a goalkeeper of Schmeichel's calibre. Board, you know what I mean? I think he already knows he's good enough, and I don't. At the end of the day, it's his decisions. You know what I mean? So if he shouldn't have to sell a player that he wants to the recruitment staff. It should be his decision, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's too many times in the past we've let other people say, "Oh, this guy's great, and we'll get him in," and maybe the manager said, "Right, okay, we'll give him a go. Show us a couple of videos," and they come and they do nothing. I mean, we've seen that on how many different occasions. So I think it's important that Brendan takes charge of these decisions and brings what he feels is the best for the club to take us forward.
And just before you jump off, Francis, what are you mostly looking forward to moving into the USA tour? And then obviously, you just want to see more signings coming in, or you just want to see the team starting to shape up now, or what you're looking for in the USA tour? Are you going to get a chance to see it?
Yeah. Well, hopefully I will. I'll watch it on the Celtic TV. So hopefully, we get. I want to see us perform well. I don't want us to go out there and just turn up for a pre-season warm up and get gubbed.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see performances. You know what I mean? I watched the game against Queen's Park the other night, and some of the defending was woeful. I mean, that first goal, but that goal we lost through Welsh, that header, that was a schoolboy header. You know what I mean? We can't have that kind of defending. Especially, I know it's the first game of the season or the second game of the season in pre-season, but a guy of his level should not be making that type of mistake, in my opinion, no matter what level of fitness he's at, you know. So that makes me worry about the defensive side of things, you know. I think we need to really move and get in another solid centre-half, maybe two, as I said at the beginning, and cover for the left-back position and probably the right-back as well, because if Johnson gets injured, Taylor gets injured, what we've got to come in isn't good enough, in my opinion, at the minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mate, it's quite a lot of planning needing done, I think, moving forward, but you're probably already underway, Francis. But I want to thank you again for coming on and taking the time with us tonight, mate. Good points. Lads, obviously, Francis, good to get him on again. Good to hear different opinions as well.
Yep, definitely, mate. Definitely. Cheers, mate.
Boys, just before I go, Celtic have now officially recognised me as an old bar steward.
All right, okay. There you go, then.
It's a new season ticket, and I said, "Why is that grey?" And it says in the back, price class adult 65.
I bet they still made you pay full price for that jersey as well, didn't they?
Listen, my boys booked me for Father's Day.
There we go, then.
Amazing, mate. Listen, Francis, you take it easy, buddy, and we'll see you again, mate. Okay, thank you.
Take care, mate.
Right, take care, mate.
Bye-bye, mate. Bye-bye. Lads, I think Francis made a great point there regarding Stephen Welsh. I think this is a name that keeps coming up on our, in our basic chat groups. And he's always in the topic of conversation somewhere. Alan, I'll come to you with us. Stevens, my thoughts are you've got to be at some sort of level to come through the academy, right? You don't come through all that different training and all the different coaches if you've not got something about you. But it just seems to be, mate, that when he's played in the first team, he's not been able to stay fit long enough to have that run of games consecutively. And two, when he does play, he makes, as Francis stated, a few basic errors.
Definitely. I think myself and Ryan kind of touched upon the game and the podcast we done on Friday. And for to lose 4 goals against Queen's Park, that's just completely unacceptable for a Celtic side. You can see clearly the defence was making mistakes, and I don't know what Stephen Welsh is thinking half the time. I think he's too busy watching the Spain game, kicking about eating paella and trying to hit a piñata. So I've no idea what is going on, but to lose 4 goals against Queen's Park, and it's no disrespect to Queen's Park, but we've got to be at a higher level than that. We shouldn't be conceding 4 goals against any side. Never mind a side that's lower down the leagues than us. So I think we spoke really in depth about the kind of positions that they'd filled and the positions that they'd strengthened over the summer. And I think kind of the highest worry points, you would say, was the goalkeeper. Then you're looking at centre half and left back. So I know we're supposed to be looking at the winger, but once the goalkeepers are in, my priority would be a couple of centre halves that we can rely on, that are strong, that we can rely on in the first 11, and a left back. There's no criticising Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor's done a fantastic job since he came in. But even if he just needs to kind of back up as well, because Bernabei's no there. But I would like to see somebody maybe a slightly better quality than Greg Taylor to come in, because of the calibre of games that we're going to have upcoming, and this new format of the Champions League is going to be that step up again. So I think the next positions for me, and it's kind of glaringly obvious with the performance against Queen's Park and conceding 4 goals, it definitely has to be the defence that's looked at, and kind of we need reinforcements in the areas.
Yeah, 100%, Ryan. What's your take on first and foremost the Stephen Welsh one, and then obviously, as Alan says, the improvements it needed?
Stephen Welsh is a squad player, mate. Again, I'm not playing at that level, so I really find my best not to really criticise too much. But when you're consistently seeing simple mistakes getting made at that level, then for me it's not good enough. And I know Brendan sees me every day, and listen, I understand that, but I might not see him every day in training, but I see him just about every week, and we're all saying the same thing. So yeah. I really don't know. Listen, he's got some sort of ability to come through the Celtic Academy. Make no mistake about that. It might not just be that ability. He might be good off the park. He might be a real professional, and he could be super fit. So that all adds to you playing at this level. Not just your ability. If you've got the full potential and full all-round game, then outside and inside, that helps you towards being at Celtic. So, but overall, I just don't think he's good enough to play with his JP personally. I would send him out on loan or sell him, because realistically, as it stands right now, in terms of taking Celtic to any sort of level in Europe or playing in big, massive games, we've got one centre-back, really, real quality centre-back, and it's Carter Vickers. And for a club like Celtic, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. Narowski, I've liked him, but I can't see he's good enough just yet, because he's not showing anybody real amount of game time. He's always injured. Lagerberg no fancied. Liam Scales is a squad player, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Stephen Welsh is no good enough. Dane Murray's just come back into the squad for a bad injury. So you've got one centre-back that's able to play with Celtic every single week. So that's telling you that needs major signings, at least 2. So, but hopefully that's something in the pipeline for Brendan. But I agree with Alan that I know it's only pre-season. We've all played football, JP. We know pre-season can be sticky. It can be hard to get your second and third win. And we get all that, but you never lose, no matter how fit you are. You never lose up there and down there. You can still do the simple touches, and when you're making simple mistakes at that level, at pre-season or no, that's telling you that you're no, in my opinion, you're not ready to step up to make Celtic better. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's just the way I see it, mate.
I think Peter Lawwell's going to be on the phone to Doctor Who to try and get a TARDIS. Go back in time and see when Udinese and Toulouse were putting in 3-4 million bids for Stephen Welsh.
I don't believe that. I think that was one of I think that was a Morelos deal for China that didn't happen.
Right, lads, we'll hold that thought just now, because we do have our second caller coming in tonight. It is indeed Mr. Bill Evans. He's joining us tonight on the show. Here he is. And I'm glad you've got a Celtic top on, Bill, because with a name like Bill or Billy coming on here, mate, that takes huge cojones, man. But welcome to the show, Bill. Hope you're well.
Thanks, guys. It's nice to be on. Good to see you, Ryan, too.
All right, Bill. How you doing, mate?
All right, mate.
Aye. I'd just like to echo what Francis was saying as well. I'm delighted that Schmeichel's coming in. I've had a few of my mates saying, oh, he's 38, whatever, you know. But I've watched him in the Euros, and I just thought he still looks big, experienced. He's a shouter, commands his box, you know. But an interesting thing, when I was looking up his Wikipedia, I noticed the only club he's been at for a long time was Leicester. But every other club before and after, he's only been there for a year. But bringing in a second goalkeeper, I think it's a brilliant idea. So obviously that's what the plan is with Celtic. You know, they're going to bring in Schmeichel for a year. hopefully he'll do well in the Champions League, because that's what I want to see Celtic. I'm sick of watching Celtic Europe just be rubbish, so so I'm looking for that experience with a goalkeeper, so I'm delighted at him coming in. And just to be slightly controversial, when Joe Hart came in, I wasn't delighted when Joe Hart came in, but Joe Hart ended up, obviously brilliant, maybe the last year his contract, but I thought before that he wasn't so good. But Joe Hart, to me, is a legend now, so to me, Schmeichel will be brilliant for a year, so I'm looking forward to that. So at least a year. And the new guy, I just saw a video on YouTube earlier, and it looks fantastic. So I'd never heard of him previously, so I'm delighted at that. So also talking about the things I heard you talk there, Ryan, about Stephen Welsh and that. I think it concerns me about the Champions League. Do we need to keep so many Scottish players because for the numbers? Because that worries me. See guys like, I like Greg Taylor, I like Ralston, and Welsh has always been there. But do we need to have these players in for the Scottish? You know what I'm talking about? You've got to have so many
Not
Scottish players
necessarily.
in the squad,
Yeah.
unless we sign Scottish players that's better than them. So what Scottish players are better than them? So that's what worries me, because we do need we need a left back for Greg Taylor. Like Greg Taylor, but for Europe, no for me. Johnston, I love Anthony Johnston. I love Johnston right back, but Ralston's not good enough for Europe either. So so I worry about that. I worry about the positions. Maybe another centre back as well. So that's my views on that. And Bernardo,
All right, Bill. Some good points here, mate. Alan, I'll let you come in first there. Obviously, you were wanting to answer Bill there in terms of what he was talking about, the Scottish quota for the Stephen Welsh scenario, like to single that one out initially. You know a wee bit more about you. You're the man with the stats that normally hits out with stuff. You surprise me every day with the numbers you get. You're like Rain Man with numbers, mate. I'll tell you that right now. And no money you're laughing, Ryan, because some of the stuff he comes away with, man, I couldn't even do that in a calculator.
That's why my half tension's doing well, mate.
Aye, he does your books for you.
Aye.
Right, so I'm pretty sure, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, right, but I'm pretty sure there's space for 25 minimum. 17 of them could be any players that are European or out with Scottish football. 4 of the players need to have come through the system in Scotland, and a further 4 need to be players that have come through your actual youth academy. So if we didn't have players like Stephen Welsh, then it would just be a case of you'd either substitute that with a youth player that's submitted, or you would leave that space blank. So if we considered that Mikey Johnston or Stephen Welsh weren't good enough, then we would just leave that space blank and fill in more registered players for the 17 for the other kind of European squad. Exactly. So it's not necessarily like that. It isn't a must that you have the kind of 8 players, but Celtic, like any club, will take advantage of that and still register players for the youth academy into that squad, so that we've still got that kind of backup. You're better having them in the registered squad than no having them. But I would like to see is if we were going to kind of sell Stephen Welsh, then there must be kind of players that have gone through the Scottish ranks that are a better standard than Stephen Welsh, and I think it's a bit controversial, but there's been a lot of kind of I don't know if he's moved on yet, but Scott McKenna come through the Scottish League, and for me for a free transfer, he's definitely a higher standard than Stephen Welsh. I'm not saying that it would be the highest standard that Celtic can possibly achieve, but you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone there, that you're bringing in somebody for free, and he's going to enhance your Champions League squad because he's got that kind of Scottish quota, shall we say, that he's come through that. So there must be players out there that's an upgrade on Stephen Welsh that we can entice into coming to Celtic. So it's definitely worthwhile looking out for Scottish talent as well. We've seen a few in the years gone by kind of get away phase, whether that be John McGinn. You look at Lewis Ferguson doing fantastically well, Josh Doig, Aaron Hickey. So there is talent in Scotland. There might not be as much as there has been in previous years, but there's definitely talent there. You look at last year with Lennon Miller as well. He looks as if he's got a fair bit of talent and potential about him. I know Motherwell are looking for like £3-4 million for him, but there is players out there that we could maybe pick up that that can fill that Scottish quota as well.
Right. Because Welsh has been Welsh has been linked with other clubs as well over the years. Like I even think clubs in Italy, maybe France, and we're talking about 2-3 million and stuff like that. So I thought Celtic are going to cash in. They should cash in because he's never going to really make it. Celtic, you know. It's, as I say, I think they've just kept him for that reason because of the Scottish quota. I don't know. And plus, I think Brendan does like him. I think Brendan obviously sees something in him. You know.
Yeah, Ryan, obviously on the points the lads were saying there, Alan was asking the question about is there anyone better than him? Well, we've seen people like Scott McKenna being bandied about, you know, names like that. In my opinion, Scott McKenna would be a better option than Stephen Welsh. He's a lot bigger for a start. He brings physicality. And he's more natural to play on the left-hand side of your defence than, let's just say for talking sake, if you put Stephen Welsh onto the left-hand side of your defence. Because you're having to then play a right footer on the left-hand side. Whereas it works better with, like, Liam Scales having a left foot or Scott McKenna having a left foot. But there's surely got to be an option similar to that can come in and fill that void.
You would like to think so, but that's why guys in the recruitment team or guys who are part of that's what they're paid the big massive bucks for, and we're just fans. We just put out what we feel, and we're no all right, we're no all wrong. It's just an opinion. You're no wrong, it's your opinion. Obviously, it could be a bit crazy, but it's your opinion. So, for me, Stephen Welsh, I've always said I try and give the guys who have come through the academy the biggest leeway if I can, but there's only so much at Celtic you can get a chance, i.e. Mikey Johnson. There's only so long you can play at Celtic and no get a sustained period of time where you're playing week in, week out, and that's just at Celtic. That's not the way it's going to be. So if McKenna was somebody in a free transfer, listen, he's better than Stephen Welsh. So for me, that's a no-brainer. Do I rate McKenna? No, really. He's all right. He would come in and enhance his experience, yes, but I do agree with Alan that obviously money comes into it because we can't go and do another £8 million and two guys that might no be quality like Lagerbielke and Rofsky. I still say there's something behind the scenes with that because the two of them have not played at a bad level. Lagerbielke's played with Sweden. He was team staff out of the team. He's played under the manager at Aberdeen for a long, long time, so, and he's spoken about very highly. And he played him a lot. So Narowski's played in Poland at a high level with Lega Warsaw, I'm sure it was. Had to finish second that league, so he's part of a good defence that season. So these guys haven't become bad overnight. Just might be they don't suit the game. Maybe it's too big a club. I don't know, but on Stephen Welsh, I do feel for me, if I'm the manager, I'm looking to try and say, look, Stephen, you're not going to play here. Do you want to sit in the stands or do you want to play every third game, 5-10 minutes here and there, collect a few grand a week, or would you rather go and develop elsewhere that you can do your maybe play every week? For me, if I'm Stephen Welsh, as much as I might be a Celtic fan and I want to win trophies and be part of this team, eventually, are you really part of the team when you're not really playing? I'm only talking from my experience. When I was younger, I played amateur on 21s. Sometimes I was sitting on the bench and not really playing. I didn't feel part of it when we won Leeds Trophy. I'm like, well, I didn't play. I only played about 10 games this year. I've not scored many goals. You don't feel part of it unless you're really in the team. So if I'm Stephen Welsh, JP, I'd be looking to go elsewhere and get game time because as much as winning trophies is good, mate, he's not really going to develop, get better much if he's just only in the stands and are playing every 4 or 5 games, 5-10 minutes here and there.
Yeah, totally agree. Bill, obviously, we've been chatting earlier tonight about the two goalkeeping situation. Obviously, in previous years, like I said to Francis, you're probably going to bring in Kasper Schmeichel and be left with, Bobby Boucher and the boy that carries all his injury for the Bobby. So, other than that, we're bringing in two goalkeepers. Like I said, it's a bit of a forward thing. And are you happy with that, mate? Are you looking forward to seeing what that brings for us next season?
Absolutely delighted because I heard Schmeichel was linked. I don't know why he was only Anderlecht for a year. That kind of worries me. I don't know why. Was it only a 1-year contract or did Anderlecht?
Yeah, it was. It was only a 1-year contract. Apparently, they couldn't afford something to do with finance or something.
Oh, right, fair enough. I never knew that. So I was always wondering because when I was looking at his Wikipedia, just doing my nosy basically, I noticed it was like 1 year at a lot of clubs. So I thought he seems to move about quite a lot, apart from Leicester. Obviously, it was 11 years at Leicester. It was even in Notts County when Sven-Goran Eriksson was there, dishing out the money, mind that. carry on with
Yeah.
So he was there before Leicester, so it Leeds as well. So no, I'm delighted with that because I think he's a powerful. Funny enough, I love Joe Hart. Joe Hart to me is now a legend at Celtic.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel more excited at Schmeichel coming in than I did when Joe Hart first came in, because I watch Schmeichel and I just see his presence in the box. I see him shouting. I see him like organised his defence. He's a bit like Hart, you know. Well, obviously, when I read as well, it was Hart that got Joe Hart was at Man City. When Joe Hart was at Man City and Schmeichel was there, it was because of Joe Hart had came through. And Schmeichel had to move on eventually. So obviously Hart and Schmeichel know each other really well. So I'm hoping Big Joe's told them, well, he shouldn't have to know how big he must know how big we are, you know what I mean, and what club it is, you know. And plus he played here at Falkirk as well. So as I say, no, I'm bubbling on now. I'm just totally delighted. I'm delighted with the backup coming in, because I heard Ryan saying earlier, the two goalkeepers I've got just now are just not good enough. Siegrist and Bain. They two, they're not even Premier League standards, you know. So it's just embarrassing. I mean, last season wasn't great either. I mean, April May ended up good last season, but last season I thought the board really let Brendan down a lot, you know, with the signings, you know. So I'm just hoping for not that again. But the only problem I've got, the only issue, I know I've heard Rangers have got to sell players to. We will have to do the same. We shouldn't be laughing at that, because there's too many players at Celtic, and I think Brendan's going to be wanting a lot out. A lot have got to move out before we actually start getting players in as well. So
yeah, he'll sort of be looking to trim his squad, won't he?
Definitely, because he says I want a smaller quality squad rather than like huge numbers, you know. Plus the South Korean guys, no disrespect to you, I love Doe, and I'm kind of. He had to go, but I wish him all the best. I just love Doe. I thought he scored a lot of important goals for us, and I've got a lot of time for him. Such a good guy, but I don't think any of the other South Korean guys are good enough for Celtic. But they might prove me wrong. I don't know. But maybe put them out loan. I've said for years to my mates, why don't we put players at loan? I don't know. They would accept English Championship or even League One in England and let them do it. I mean, Mikey Johnson was a great example of that last year. Mikey Johnson went in there, and don't get me wrong, other players might not do it, but I think the English Championship's not a great level. There's maybe about top 5-6 teams at a good level that can maybe get the Premier League, but below that, everybody's a muchness, you know. So I think Celtic, I don't know why we've never tried to capitalise on that, like putting players in. I even joked to my mate, I could imagine we're talking about John McGinn. Imagine we signed John McGinn and said, we'll just loan him out to Aston Villa for a year. I can imagine what he would have been worth after a year at Aston Villa. He would have been worth 20 million rather than like 2.75 million, whatever it was here. You know, I don't know. Am I being ridiculous, you know? Because the English Championship, obviously the prices are so inflated, you know. The players go for like 30, 40 million and they're nowhere near worth that.
No, I don't think you're being ridiculous at all, mate. I think you're going to try to see a bit of reason within what you're saying there. But obviously, we'll just need to wait and see what's going to happen, mate, in terms of recruitment over the summer. But Bill, I want to thank you very much for taking the time with us tonight and coming on and having a chat with us.
Hey, bother, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah,
cheers,
you're welcome
Bill.
back. Welcome back anytime, Bill. Okay. Thanks very
Cheers,
much, mate.
Take care.
See you later, mate. Cheers,
Bye-bye.
mate. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Just on that, before I forget, I actually seen a post on Twitter before I come on that Benjamin Siegrist barber has put on to get a signed jersey off him saying thank you for everything. So I think that's maybe imminent that he'll be leaving in the upcoming days or week or so.
All right, okay.
So he's basically gave him that as a gift. It was just before I come on here, I seen it on Twitter. So he's put that on. Siegrist has given him a gift. One of his goalkeeper taps and saying thanks for everything, Benjamin Siegrist. So it looks like a kind of goodbye gift, if you like.
I might try that next week, man. I'll take my jersey in and sign my jersey and say thanks very much and see if I can get a free haircut out of that one. See if that works, Ryan, you know what I mean?
Why no, mate? You don't get these days, mate.
Absolutely, but as they say, God loves a trier.
That's it, mate. That's it.
Just obviously we've got another call waiting. Just before we go to that, I think Bill makes a couple of good points. I think he's more echoing what we've been saying for quite a while, lads, in terms of we just want to see Celtic improving in terms of European wise. I don't think any of us have got any you know, there's no doubt in here the domestic success we've seen as a club. I mean, what a time it's been over the last decade or so to be a Celtic fan. It's been absolutely amazing. And the overturn in trophies, and I know there's a bit of banter ready to be started, obviously risking into this season. You know, if we can win a couple of the trophies, then we're going to overjump them, and, you know, it's going to be good and putting pressure on them that way. But I just think, Alan, it's, you know, the trophy-wise, there is no way we can't argue with that at all, man, as a club.
Aye. No, it is great, but at the end of the day, we're by far the biggest club in this country now, especially after 2012. We're by far and away, we've stepped in front with terms of kind of infrastructure and finance as well, so I'm not, nobody's kind of entitled to win the league every year, but at the start of the year, we're in the best position to win the league by far by any team in this country. So I think it's good news that Brendan's taking many of the reins in the transfers. I think let's throw a grenade in. I think we look at the last kind of year or two that the recruitment team just wasn't fit for purpose. That's just the fact, in my opinion. And I think Brendan's just basically come in and says, "Oh no, I'm taking the reins here. I'm taking some of the decisions off people," and I think that's the way it looks. But it's hopefully going to be a good thing, because Brendan's been there and done it kind of countless times, and he's the one guy that adjusts to have the judgment of bringing in players and kind of moving players on, because he knows what he's talking about. He knows the game inside out. So that's one thing that I think can help us with try to kind of show ambition or any sort of progression in Europe. It's because for starters, Brendan's basically the guy that's going to be trusting in these people he's bringing in, and Brendan's going to be the person that's kicking Frankie out the door for Barton.
I actually thought that was a new effect you did for the podcast there, mate. I actually thought you'd flicked a button there and something like.
You should have got yourself a muzzle, Frankie.
Ryan's got William Scales and I've got Doug Spartan in the background like that. So don't phone the callers, everybody. It's all right.
We're doing well. But just on that note, we're obviously going to bring our next and final caller of tonight on. John's back with us. He was with us last Monday. It was a great chat we had last Monday for John. I wasn't expecting the list of players. I wonder what John's got up his sleeve tonight. So here he is. John, welcome to the show, mate. It's good. Hope you've had a good night, mate.
Evening, lads. I'm enjoying it so far. Fantastic.
Good stuff.
I'll start off in Schmeichel. Until he's, as you've said before, until he's on the pitch holding the scarf, we'll just reserve judgment now. But obviously the reports, it's a done deal in it. But I don't think anybody needs to worry about what age he is. Joe Hart, what age was Joe when he left? 38?
38, yeah.
Absolutely no issues with Schmeichel. Example, I've actually seen him on the Ben Foster podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And Foster must have been at the same age when he was with Watford. Fitness is not an issue for guys that age. They're so dedicated. Foster used to go on the bike for between half an hour and an hour before training. Absolute, what a workout. And that's just before his normal training. They're so dedicated, these guys, because you know, if they don't do that, they're not earning the big money. They're not earning a big wage. So they need to keep going for as long as they can. That's why you get so many players playing longer now, I reckon, because the money's fantastic and they want to keep earning it as long as they can. Because once your money goes, you can't go to the van and get 10 pence mixtures anymore.
They were the days, by the way. They were the days. You've just brought back a bit of flashbacks to me there, by the way.
Aye. I used to do my young brother. I used to go with 20 pence and get 2 10 pence mixtures, but I get 11, he get 9. They fucking couldn't pay. Talk about Stephen Welsh. That it's pre-season. The fitness level, everybody's fitness level's different, but they're all around about the same. Fitness isn't an issue with Stephen Wilkes. His decision making is just not good enough to be at a club like Celtic as a first 11 starter. She says, aye, it's a squad player. Aye, with this European law and whatever, you've got to have. You might have guys that's just not as good, but they need to be there. That's just the way it is. Every club's the same. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. But I seen one of the comments regarding what's happening with the boy O'Hara. Is there rumours about that boy for St Mirren? Is that the O'Hara?
No, I think he was talking about the boy Callum O'Hare that's just left Coventry, but he's actually just signed for Sheffield United today. I seen it earlier.
Spelt it
I think it was the boy P. McLaughlin in the chat.
Aye, that's right.
What was going on, I didn't have a chance myself, John, to reply to that comment, but he's signed for Sheffield United today, or he was having his medical today, sorry.
Also, Ryan, just to let you know, Greg Taylor's not signed a new contract yet. Can I ask your opinion on that?
Good.
Ryan's got me in the house. Bring Greg in, Ryan. Ask him myself.
No,
Right, go.
inject.
He's a favour. Going to let them out one by one and tell us how Liam and Greg are, the new.
Anybody who watches the podcast or anybody who watches Celtic in general, I think if you're really happy with Greg Taylor playing European football for next year for Celtic to make Celtic better, then for me, I think if that's the standard you're happy with, then that's just my opinion. I think it's crazy if that's the standard that we need to go with again in European football, because that's no on Greg Taylor, by the way. It's just on you need to get better every season you can, and you need to try and move on. And Greg Taylor domestically in Scotland, I'm fine with Greg Taylor in Scotland. Fine. He'll still get targeted, but he's able to deal with Scotland because the teams in Europe are nowhere near as good as what he plays in Scotland. But as soon as guys like him and Ralston, even some of the first team players, us who are superstars that we call, sometimes struggle. But when they go to this level, it's a massive, massive jump for playing in Scotland. And Greg Taylor gives his all. He's fit as hell. He's very, very competent in Scotland. But in terms of Europe, the last two campaigns, he's been exposed. And do you really go into a third campaign with roughly the same battling that you've no progressed for the last 2 years? For me, that's no progression in terms of giving the manager the best chance possible. I think that's all we want, lads. I think that's the thing. I'm not saying we're going to spend £50 million, but just give Brendan the best chance we can at the budget he's going to get. And then if it fails, I'll go like, look, what else can we do? We've gave him quality experience signings. Maybe it's just a step too far for us. Right, we'll need to go again next year and just see how we go. Until that happens, I'll still nag to try and do the best we can, because I don't feel... What's your opinion on that, John? Because for me, I don't feel Celtic... Now, bear in mind, I'm the youngest out of all you here. You're older than me, right? I don't feel Celtic...
How do you know that?
I know.
Listen, I know everything. So, for me, that's why I did a half-time show, remember? So, for me, I think that we're never prepared for European football. We've never, apart from maybe Ange, maybe he spelled with a rebuild, and Martin O'Neill, I don't feel we've ever been prepared for qualifiers. We've never been prepared for a group stage. This is, for me, the season where you give Brendan what you can to go and do anything possibly better than the last two seasons in the Champions League.
I echo what you think about Taylor. He is getting exposed. But I think he's been a very good signing for Kilmarnock. Mm-hmm. He's been there, 4 years? Is it 4 years?
4 or 5, isn't it?
5.
Well, he was there with two with Ange anyway, and it was like
Aye. He's played a lot of games for Celtic. He's played international football as well. Would I give him another extended contract? Probably, aye, believe it or not. Because you've got to fulfil this criteria, haven't you?
Yeah. John, do you think he's played a lot of games because he's not had that kind of cover in beside him? I don't want to say and be disrespectful to the lad and say replacement. I don't like hearing that, right? I like to, because of the amount of games Celtic play, I'm open to the fact that Celtic will rotate the squad, or at least try to. But that is a position that's clear on the pitch that we have been unable to bring in a ready guy to come in, like Greg Taylor, or as Ryan said before, somebody that's slightly better than Greg Taylor to fulfil that position.
Well, Bernaby was brought in to be his competition, wasn't he? But he's failed. I just don't think he's cut the mustard, that boy. I don't think we'll see him back, to be honest with you. Celtic have no, and Scottish teams in general don't have a great track record with South American players, as you probably know.
Yeah.
They know bad down south, but they don't like the cold weather here, don't they? It's all right to the end of August, September, then the scarf, the gloves, and the hats on, isn't it?
Aye, they don't like you up to Dingwall on a Tuesday night. But John, I'm glad you brought up the Ovs here, and I want to put that, well, John's still here, put that to yourself. I'm glad John mentioned the fact that, you know, everybody keeps saying, oh, but this Schmeichel's 37 and his age has no relevance at all to the actual signing to the club. It's no relevance at all. It's about his ability as a goalkeeper. And I'm afraid, lads, whether they like it or not, he's top level.
Can I just say, before anybody jumps in, we've been screaming out for the last couple of years about signing players with Champions League international experience. You'll not get any better than that, will you?
Absolutely not, John. And I also think he's a slight upgrade in Joe Hart, and I thought Joe Hart was sensational.
I don't think he's an upgrade. I just think he's just a replacement, to be honest with you. I'm quite happy with it if it happens. Quite happy.
Nobody's doubting that he's a quality goalkeeper. That's not the issue here. The issue is that in a year or two we're going to be back to square one again and looking for somebody else, right? With this kind of rumour, the younger goalkeeper coming in as a project and to learn from the likes of Kasper Schmeichel, then that's what we're looking to see. We're looking to see that progression plan, that forward planning, so that when Schmeichel does hang up his gloves, boots, whatever you want to say, then you've got somebody there that we've been bringing on year to fill that position, and we don't need to panic like we have been this whole year. Who's coming in for goalie? Who's going to go in for goalie? We're going to have Scott Bain for Batman on the goalie. It's just that's what we're looking for: a bit of progression, a bit of forward planning, and obviously with the three players that's linked today, I think Brendan or the board had a wee bit of a joke up their sleeves like that. See all the Celtic dads out there, we'll get you back. Can't even pronounce half of their names now. Remember my dad tried to say Miramchit, saying Mirochit and all that. So I can hardly pronounce that winger's name. So I think the Celtic dads are all going to be like, aye, that guy number 10.
Sitting there like that wee boy in the video, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Aye.
I think they're having a wee
I'm
joke
not even going to repeat what his dad says to him either.
I don't think we've ever had that I can recall having a number two that's been there and progressed and became the number one. Is there? Pat Bonner, maybe the last one.
You might be right by there.
Stuart Kerr.
I don't know many games Stuart Kerr played. Couple of years, wasn't it?
Played a couple of years, but he's obviously his career. I think his career ended when he left Celtic. I'm sure I heard he broke his hand and it was like a nerve or something in his hand. It was severely damaged and it stopped him from playing the game anymore.
That's quite a while away, isn't it? That was a good while ago.
Yeah,
that's what we should be looking for.
John, on your thoughts of moving forward with the club and stuff like that, what are you looking for as a fan as we gather momentum now into the USA tour and then into the new season?
The transfer window only opened 2 weeks ago and we've still got another 6 weeks or so to go. But the club always asks fans for season book money up front, strip money, training tap money and all that. It'd be nice for the board to sign players early as well. The fans are always early with their money. Show a bit back to the fans. That's what I would say.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Because like your lads have said, and I'm going to echo that, I think Brendan deserves, I think he's earned it now as a Celtic manager to have things his own way and kind of dictate how he kind of wants most of the chance, or the majority, should I say, of the transfer window to go. I think he's at least earned that.
Definitely.
John, thanks very much for coming on.
I need to go anyway because own archdeacon's at the door wanting his tracky tap back for 1986.
I actually thought it was Jackie Jakanowski's jacket he had on there. But between you having his jacket and him having Greg Taylor and Scalesy in his cupboard, man, I don't know who's worse. But no, as I say, I need Sam Smith, aye. But John, again, cheers again, mate, for coming on.
Cheers, John.
Right, take care, lads.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, thanks very much to all the callers for tonight. It's been really good getting everybody else's opinions, apart from us three just sitting here having a chat, lads, as well as we're trying to do that as well. If anybody is wanting to take part in the show on a Monday night, you need to let us know. We've tried to put it out a couple of times now via our social media. I heard one or two comments in I saw one or two comments in the chat. Someone says they're camera shy. That's fine. You can come through and just be audio only. You don't have to show your face on camera. That's an option that you have your own mind to make up there. But if anybody at all wants to take part in a Monday night dial-in, you let us know. And depending on the number of calls, we might need to even extend our show, which is fine. I'm totally fine with that. But we are looking, this is why we've done this in the first place. We are looking for your views as the fans and to give you an option also to come on and vent however you see fit. So if you DM us, as in direct mail, in case any of the older generation doesn't know exactly what that abbreviation means, send us a message and we can chat further on how you go about coming on the show. Lads, like I says, that was the whole reason why we started this. Alan, you know, we chatted for a number of months. We thought this was a really good idea to, not just for us to chat anymore, to bring, you know, the fans on, the guys that are in the chat quite often and get them on and get their thoughts.
Definitely. It reaches out and it gives us a kind of connection with our viewers. So
yes,
we interact with people and we appreciate everybody kind of tuning in and watching. Kind of three guys rabbiting on about a lot of nonsense. So we appreciate that, guys. So we'd like to make you feel part of it. I know.
You speak to don't you start jumping the gun now, man. Come on, because your dog was barking earlier on. You behave yourself.
Wait. Quan is a belter.
He is, just not the way you thought I was talking about.
You never forget that, man. He's a belter. He's a belter, yeah. Quan, belter.
He is. So, tell you he's a belter, but just not the way you thought I was meaning. Thanks very much, James. Appreciate it, mate.
But I know, hopefully going forward, we've got a lot more people kind of phoning in. And we can keep going with this kind of format of our show. So, it's been very positive in the first couple of weeks and onwards and upwards, guys.
Yeah, Ryan, it's important to hear more than just us, our views as well, sometimes.
Definitely, because, again, there's almost so much that we can speak about as well. And if things aren't going well, there's always so many times you can really batter certain players, or batter the board, or batter the manager, etc. When it's going well, it's all good, even praising. But even then, but you said that last week, you said that today. So it's good to get different opinions, and then we can get back to them. They can go back to us if they don't agree with us, because people might watch us and go, "I don't agree with you, Ryan. JP, I don't agree with you, Aaron. No, I didn't like that point." Well, come and talk to us and debate, because that's what football's all about. I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm probably never right, but that's just the way. So it's opinions. If you've got opinion, come on and invent your views. If it's Michael, if it's Brendan, the board, if it's Aberdeen's no-time players or whatever, anything at all, just give us a wee shout and have a debate, because a lot of people as well, if it's a social thing for you as well, if you've not had a chat about somebody for football for a few days, we'll be here for you for a chat. If you're struggling for this mental health to know have a chat with somebody, listen, come in for a 5-10 minute chat, it's no bother at all. It's one thing we want to do is make sure people are, if it's even for this hour, or half an hour, or 45, whatever it is we're on, it's just a Celtic chat for you, and it's a social thing, because a lot of people in this chat are all talking to each other and probably don't know each other, and they're all chatting. So that just shows you what Celtic does and what football does. So anybody who wants to join the chat, you can DM myself, JP Allen, DM the page, Instagram, TikTok, anything at all.
Facebook.
Shouting Facebook as well. So it'd be good to get your opinions, and hopefully there's no fighting, but it'd be good to get your opinions.
Yeah, no, listen, the most important part is you need to send us a DM. You need to message us. You need to message us privately, because there is a small process that we need to go through in order to get you on here chatting with us. It's not just as easy as...
In the first episode, you sign out the 10:30 show.
That to be fair, that is a first. That's a given. I mean, that's an absolute given. I've subscribed. I got a free subscription, and I've known him for years.
I need my $9.99 time a lecky bill, man. So the more subs, the better, man.
No, the more dial-ins, the better for me, because I've not got any more money in my power card, man. Look at this. I'm sitting in Dortmund here.
Pay for your call, JP. Keep the bill small.
Pay for your call. It helps to keep the bill small, lads. No.
Oh,
that's a great thing. Where'd you get that? Maryhill Shopping Centre. As I said, you need to message us first. If you want to come on and have a chat, even if you are camera shy, you can come through in audio. You don't need to put your camera on we don't need to see you, if that makes sense. Obviously, all we need to do is just, we just need to hear you. But there is a small process, and obviously if you message us privately, we can, we can talk you through what it is you need to do. But don't be shy. Give it a try, as I say.
Can you not turn your camera off, JP, no?
I can, mate. I can also turn yours off if I get any merry. But I'm not going to do that because I love you, really. But that's all we've got time for tonight, folks. Let's hope this is a good week. We've also got some plans this week as well. Check out the video section of the YouTube channel later on in the week, as we will have another episode coming up from the Squirrel Bar. And yeah, as I say, we've got other things planned as we go, but we'll announce that once we've got that nailed down and ready to go for you guys. But for the time being, as I said, if anybody wants to come on, you have to message us, right? That's the key part. You need to message us. We want you to come on and have a civilised chat though as well. We don't want any cussing and swearing, preferably not. And we don't want any sectarian chants at all. So if we do have any of that at all, you will be kicked off straight away, just like it is on Super Scoreboard and on the other parts of the radio, BBC Sports Sound as well. If you swear, use bad language or any sectarian language, you will be, as Ryan loves to say, escorted from the premises. But above all else, hope everyone had a great weekend. Thanks for all your comments, folks. I do apologise we've not been able to get through them all. I have managed to put up some for us. But for the time being, hail, hail. Let's hope by the next time we see yous, Celtic will have signed a few players. Gives us some more content to chat about. But
adios, amigos.
Adios.
If not, take care, and we'll see you again, folks.
Hail, hail.
Bye-bye.
Hail, hail.
Oh, you can't shove the goalie in the box. Oh, you can't shove the goalie in the box. Oh, you can't shove the goalie, cause he's a holy goalie. Can't shove the goalie in the box.
The real Rangers were coming once again, they said.